right, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our interview video today again with our famous guest Jörg from Kassel. Hello, Jörg.
Hi, Phil. How are you? Good evening.
I'm very fine, thanks. Compared to the weather we were facing last time, it's pretty fresh today, so I think it's a good opportunity
You're right.
to talk about the top 8 and to have some gameplay. What about you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everything is fine. Totally fine for me. Thanks for
All
asking.
right. Yeah, as everyone know, we uploaded part 1 like 1.5 weeks ago, and we talked about your complete run and a very detailed guide. And as we had 2 hours on the clock, we decided to split the video. And now today we want to talk about the top 8, and then we want to try to play 2 rounds with a focus on the newest addition to the deck. Like we want to try to force Battlefield Scrounger lines. Yeah, but let's take a look on my small note here. And I saw that after you finished 7 rounds, you came into the quarterfinals playing a player called Jose or Josie on Slide. So what's your, what do you remember from this matchup and how to navigate Slide in general?
Yeah, finally, I would, for my opinion, was because I had the Natural Order and the Phantom Nishoba in the sideboard for the whole event, and this is, as I mentioned earlier, the main matchup where I want the card against.
Yeah.
And when I found out that I'm playing against Sly, I was saying, okay, I am very good prepared for the matchup.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, I had the luck to be on the play in the first game because I was 4th after Swiss and the opponent was 5th after Swiss. So I had the chance to be on the play in the first game, but I didn't really knew that I was playing against Sly because as I had a very early loss in the second round, I was at the lower tables for the whole tournament. And unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to find something out about the player I was playing against. And but I kept a very reasonable hand. And then in the first turn, I saw, oh, cool, it's Sly. So then I had a very good feeling for the matchup in general because I knew first I am on the play and had a very good hand and with Waller fruits and some survival of the fittest. So I was very resilient against him with my hand. And then I knew that I can bring in the natural order package in the second and the third game. And this is normally, if it lands on turn 3, it's basically impossible for them. Sometimes, they can also keep Sulfuric Vortex. But the opponent also explained after the game that he boarded some of them out. So he didn't really have that much.
The Vortex? Probably necessary.
I won't say that they are good against the deck in general, but against my list, I would say if you know that I bring the Natural Order package with Phantom Nishoba, you should keep them in. I did some testing at the beginning when I found out the card against Adrian Auer from Darmstadt. He is also a very known Burn and Goblins player. And I asked him if he's willing to do some testing against the matchup. And we both found out that it's very hard to beat in Phantom Nishoba back then. And so I knew it's normal to just cut some of the Sulfuric Vortex. And normally the Burn player doesn't want the card because he can tap out for 3 mana.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I am able to kill him not in response, but in return. So if I have a survival of the fittest on turn 2 and he plays Sulfuric Vortex on turn 3, then he's tapped out and he can't really interact with me.
Yeah.
And then I have a very good window with the survival. So I don't say that the card is very good against the deck in general, but if you know that you're playing against 4 Natural Order and Phantom Nishoba, you will probably keep them in.
Okay, 2 quick questions come to my mind. So the first question is, Are you the aggressor in this matchup, or are you the control part against Sly?
I would say it depends on situations. I don't really want to control the game, I would say. You're the combo deck. You should try to win as fast as possible because the burn player has so much reach over the turn 4 and turn 5. So if you take too long to just dawdle around with some useless survival activations or so, then it's you don't have the time to do that because they have fire blast, and usually you can stabilize around like 9 or 10 life, or sometimes 8 life, and then you also get damage from your own lands. So I wouldn't say that it's a good way to do the control route, but on the other side, if I play the natural order early enough, then I can do some kind of control route, because then I just have to attack with the Phantom Nishoba, and either he ignores it, then I get 7 life each turn, or he tries to fight it, and then he spends so much resources doing that, and this gives me additional life on top of the other life I get with the attacking. So I think if you get the chance to put Nishoba into play, you get like immediately 10 life or so. Either you attack with it, and then if you get 7 life, you basically be at 20 again. And if they spend so much resources to shrink it, then you can you have additional life because they couldn't have burned you. But interestingly, in the quarterfinals, the burn player had the chance to shrink it 3 times because he had 3 mock fanatics in total. So he had 3 mock fanatics in total. And so he was able to put it on a 4/4. So it wasn't that scary anymore then. But on the other side, he spent a lot of resources. And 4 life each turn is still enough against the burn player.
Absolutely.
If they don't have the chance to be aggressive, and it doesn't really work for them if they try to spend some resources, and then it was shrink to 2/2, and then it was still enough because he didn't really had any relevant spells in the late game anymore. And then if it has been attacking for 3 or 4 times, then it still doesn't matter if he attacks with the ball lightning, because
absolutely not.
You got the life and double in the meanwhile.
Okay. Yeah, really interesting. The second question I have before we can talk about the exact sideboarding is that you mentioned you did not know what your opponent plays. So this tournament was without open decklist in the top 8?
Exactly. Yeah. We didn't have any. We didn't have any decklists at all. So it was a casual event, and rule enforcement level regular. So there wasn't really the need to give a decklist at the beginning of the tournament. So no, it wasn't really public. If you had the chance to get some information in the earlier rounds, you knew that earlier. But as I mentioned, I was at the lower tables at the start of the tournaments then, and then I needed to climb up from there.
And to just be a bit more in the story, like what time are we talking about? Are we at 6 o'clock in the evening now, or when did the quarterfinal start?
Yeah, it was even later, I guess. So it was around 7 p.m. or so. So it was quite late already. I think at this day also there was a World Cup game from Germany against Ivory Coast. And it started at 10. But it was a very late tournament, so it took very long, and I think we were finishing quite before the a football game starts. So.
Perfect.
Yeah, and one thing I want to note there was already in the first game I won with the survival of the fittest and got Palinchron to be mana efficient. And then I put Palinchron in the graveyard and got the Shapeshifter and untapped my lands.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had the need to wait because I didn't really had enough mana to instantly kill him.
Yeah.
So I needed to wait until his turn because my Wall of Roots was already used this turn. And then in his upkeep, I was able to discard Psychatog from my hand and got the Triskelion back then. It was very important because Palinchron was a 4/5, so he wasn't really able to kill the Warlord Shapeshifter because it was a big creature. And then if I discard another card, he would have been able to kill the Warlord Shapeshifter before I get the Triskelion, because I already had the Phyrexian Devourer in my hand.
Yeah.
And it needed to be Psychatog, because with Psychatog I would have been able to exile cards from my graveyard and make it bigger in response to a burn spell.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very close because he also had 7 damage with burn spells in play and in hand. So he was able to kill me quite, but because I already had the Phyrexian Devourer in my hand and searched for the Triskelion before I got the last damage of my Painland, then I had already the whole combo in my hand. And he wasn't able to kill me because I was able to kill him in instant speed.
Really
and
cool.
In the second game,
maybe I want to add some information, Jörg, for maybe the newer people in the format. Like, as it's not very often played in other formats, the City of Brass has a trigger, and you can even take 1 mana from that, put the trigger on stack, and then use the mana for instants or instant abilities to kill with the trigger on stack. So maybe just for the watchers new in the format, not playing too much with City of Brass, or maybe knowing more the, I don't know, Mana Confluence, what the name of the newer card is. It's possible to win a game with the City of Brass trigger on stack, and
exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. So that's good to know, because if you have different lands in play, you should activate the City of Brass last. And then if you have the Triskelion in hand and already the Phyrexian Devourer in the graveyard, then if you activate the City of Brass last, just to be need to be sure that you activate the Survival of the Fittest and use the mana ability and not use the mana ability of the City of Brass. That's very important in general, because especially on Modo, you have the problem if you use the City of Brass for mana right away before casting anything or using an ability, then you immediately get the trigger on the stack and you're not able to rewind that. So sometimes it can happen that you produce the wrong mana or so, and then you spend mana for nothing. So that's also a good point. But that would be a very good kill if you use the last point of damage, and before the trigger resolves, you kill the opponent in this scenario.
Perfect.
So in the second game, I had the luck to top deck the Natural Order.
But before we go into game 2, what did you just bring in the 5 or more from that?
No. I mentioned earlier that I not really like the control role in general, but you need some interaction. You need Swords to Plowshares. That's very helpful against Grim Lavamancer, and oftentimes also Ball Lightning. If you're able to prevent 6 damage, then it's very good to survive for at least like 2 more turns. And on the other side, I don't really like the Cabal Therapies in the matchup, because it's all about speed in the matchup. And if you spend 1 turn by casting a card and don't match anything, then you It feels
it's
like that you skip the whole turn. So I don't really like the Cabal Therapies, but it depends on the list. The first thing in general is I don't really like the Hermit Druid in this configuration because they just get killed. And the burn player is even has the chance with like Seal of Fire or something. He can even let it live, and then if you activate the Hermit Druid, he can just kill you, or not kill you, but disrupt you in the middle of the combo to just change the card on the top of the graveyard, and then it feels even worse. So and this configuration is like you bring in the Natural Orders and the Phantom Nishoba and the Swords to Plowshares and bring in 2 Duras.
Okay.
And because Duras just replaces the Cabal Therapy, you just want sometimes discard cards like we talked about Sulfuric Vortex earlier. Sometimes they can keep it. Sometimes you just hit a Fire Blast, which gives you like 4 life.
Anarchy, Price of Progress.
Price of Progress is also a card which can do very much damage then. And the chance that you hit a relevant card with the Durus is much higher than with the Cabal Therapy. So the mana you spend gives you like 3 or 4 life later.
That's good.
That makes sense to bring the card. And as we want more or enough queen cards, it's also very important that you bring in the Uktabi Orangutan. They sometimes also bring in like Tormod Crypt or Phyrexian Furnace, or sometimes also have Cursed Scroll. So you oftentimes find very good targets with it to be a bit like disruptive. And then in the worst case, it's just a 2/2, which just holds Jugglepup and also can be sacrificed or even searched with a Natural Order. So sometimes there are also situations where you don't need to get the Phantom Nishoba. You basically ever search them, but some scenarios you can also get the Uktabi Orangutan to just kill Tormod Script. And because Tormod Script isn't that good anymore if you don't have the Hermit Druid in the deck after the sideboarding, but it can still disrupt the Triskelion and Phyrexian Devourer line a bit. It depends on how much creatures you have in hand, but you can basically play around it. So
and Anders is probably not too good, right?
Everything said, you take out all the Hermit Druids and also the Krosan Reclamation, because you don't need the Krosan Reclamation if you don't have the Hermit Druid kill. And on the other side, Akroma isn't also really needed if you don't have the Hermit kill. There are some matchups where you can reanimate it with the Karmic Guide, or but this isn't the matchup because it can be still too slow. If you reanimate it on like turn 3 or 4, you can just burn out from the opponent. And the last card I also most times bring in is the Ghitu Slinger to just have
a 2
more disruption against the Grim Lavamancer, basically.
And that's for an Unearth then, or?
Yeah, exactly. You can just take out one Unearth. Unearth is still a good card because the opponents would like to kill the Birds of Paradise and sometimes the Wall of Roots. And the Wall of Roots is probably in the post-board configuration the best target for it. Especially because it holds back all of the other creatures. And sometimes you can just reanimate it after you cast the Natural Order, for example. And then you have also a very good blocker and can absorb even the Ball Lightning damages.
All right, you gave us a small spoiler about the game 2, like where you shrink the Phantom Nishoba on a 2/2, or it got shrinked, but it was just too much resources spent on that. So you just killed with combat damage?
It basically was killing 5 of his creatures. So he sacrificed the 3 Mock Fanatics directly to just shrink it to a 4/4, and then after that he even blocked with twice with Jackalpup. So it basically killed 5 creatures from him. And imagine if he had the chance to keep them in play, he would have been able to just attack for a very good amount of damage over the turns. But with a lifelink, that really didn't work. And I was basically flooding a bit out after that, but I don't want to complain about it. So if you have the chance to land the Phantom Nishoba, and the opponent player was a player from Spain, and he had a friend behind him watching the whole game, and then he was also very surprised about hey, you have a very good sideboard card, he said. So he knew that the game is basically over after the Phantom Nishoba was in play, and it took a couple of turns to kill him because it was shrinked. And if the opponent tries to shrink it someday or after a couple of rounds, the Nishoba will be destroyed. And then you have the chance to reanimate it with the Karmic Guide or with the Animate Dead again. So basically, if it's the second time in play, the game is then over, I would say. And it took a couple of turns to attack him, but in the end, I was even able to cast the Triskelion, and he was at 3 life then. And then I was able to put the last damage with the Triskelion triggers.
Sweet.
Yeah. And as I said earlier in the first part of the interview, Sly and Burn is one of the worst matchups for the deck because Hermit Druid is so fragile against the deck. And if you only have like 4 survival of the fittest as a very reliable win condition and don't have so much time, basically one of the most important things in the matchup is like if you want to rely on your survival, you basically never block with the Wall of Roots, because if the opponent attacks, or not never, but you won't block like or you should avoid it, because if you opponent, even if he attacks with a Mock Fanatic, then he puts 1 damage to the Wall of Roots, then he can sacrifice it and put a bolt on it. Okay, that's still 2 cards, but then you lose the chance for the mana, and it's more important to keep it in play at least for 1 turn, that you have the chance to activate the survival. Most of the time you activate it like twice, because 1 in your turn and 1 in its opponent turn, and then in the second turn you can still block, but you need the mana. If you block too early and the opponent bolts the Wall of Roots, then you have 2 less mana to activate the survivals, and then you can't be fast enough to set something up. So that's very important from my point of view.
Hint.
That you try to avoid to block too early with the Wall of Roots. So the first damage, if you get like to 12 or so, it's still okay. And then after that, you can use the Wall of Roots to block. But not
very,
earlier.
very good information, Jörg.
Yeah.
Thanks for the hints. Should we go on with the next matchup, or anything to add on this one?
Yeah, I would say so, that we can go to the semifinals now.
Perfect. So let's continue with the semifinals, where you faced a player named Marcus on Terragallon. Yeah, please take us with you, because with my knowledge, this could be a hard matchup, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And Marcus is also a very experienced player.
Yeah.
I knew him, or I know him from earlier tournaments, and he is also a regular in the Darmstadt community. And the Terragallon matchup is definitely not that easy to play. That depends on the mana denial of the deck, I would say. As we have only non-basic lands, the wastelands from the opponents are very good. And also a very relevant card in the matchup is sometimes Sylvan Library.
Yeah.
And you have some discard spells in your main deck. You only have like interaction against him with the discard spells. And also they have the opportunity to accelerate with the Mox Diamond, so they can be ahead very early from the game and put you under pressure. So not really the Terror Ball is the problem in the matchup, I would say, but the mana denial is the most problematic thing. So you should try to keep hands with enough lands, I would say. If you have like 3 lands or 3 lands in the opening hand, I would say that's very solid. So then if you have 3 lands and some bird or some one of roots, then it's very likely that you have enough mana to cast like Survival of the Fittest or also use the Hermit Druid. And in this matchup, I would also say that both cards are very good against them. So Hermit Druid and Survival are both very good.
Was it the build with Oath of Druids or with some more small creatures like Weathered Wayfarer?
No, it wasn't. I didn't really saw any Oath of Druids.
Okay.
He didn't brought them in, but I also saw the Weathered Wayfarer. And this was also a card in the first game. So the opponent started in the match because he was, I think it was first after Swiss rounds. So he was able to start in our match. And I also saw the Withered Wayfarer.
Yeah,
but then, as I explained earlier, the mana denial is a very good plan against me. And the opponent decided to play the Withered Wayfarer. And in the first round, I started with a discard spell and also had the luck to discard the Sylvan Library.
You named Sylvan Library first?
In this case, yes, because my plan was winning with survival. Because I had a survival hand.
Sweet.
And if I see like Sylvan Library, he is able to either find so much card quality that he is able to bury me under that, and also he is able to find answers with it. Most of the times they play like Naturalize, a couple of Naturalizes in the main deck, and Sylvan Library is also very good because it makes future discard spells more useless. The same is like Miri's Guile is also the same as the Enchantress matchup. So if you have like Ponder every turn where you see the top 3 cards, it's basically useless to use discard spells, and he can rearrange it always to protect the cards, the most important cards. So that's basically hard to fight against them. And in this case, he decided to not play a land in the second turn because he wanted to activate the Weathered Wayfarer. And as he was on the play, he had more lands than me in this situation. And then he decided to use the Weathered Wayfarer a couple of times. But in my case, I was lucky because I had 3 lands in the starting hand and also drew additional lands from the top of the deck. And then I was directly be able to slam the Survival of the Fittest on turn 2. And I was able to use it every turn. And he wasn't really be able to disrupt me by that. So he could kill me, he could kill my lands with the Wastelands, a couple of Wastelands. But it didn't really was enough because I had enough lands and also was able to find Wall of Roots then. That's the main priority, I would say, in the matchup, to focus on your land or mana building, to have enough mana. And if you have lands and mana, you can play Magic. If you don't have, then you're not playing that much.
They are doing Terra or Terra Ponza things, like without lands, or even Armageddon. It's more worse, I guess.
It's more worse, but it's more predictable, I would say. So they can find it from the top randomly, but also that's very important. They have Swords to Plowshares, so they are also very good against Water Fruits. But if you have Water Fruits and Birds of Paradise in your deck, then Armageddon isn't that hard or that bad anymore.
True.
So you should focus on that, build a bit of mana, and then you find a scenario where they have to tap out or so, and then you can easily combo him, especially if the survival stays in play like 3 or 4 turns and you get not that much disrupted, and he didn't really have a clock. Then it's also very important, because if they don't pressure you, you have all the time in the world. And at the very bad, you can also get like Elvish Spirit Guide to just get additional mana. But one of the most problematic things in the matchup is also that you have Gemstone Mine, and Gemstone Mine is killing itself over time.
Yeah.
So if they are destroying your Painlands and you only have the Gemstone Mine, then it's also very difficult.
Yeah.
But you can also play around a bit, because they don't really spend the land destruction on the Gemstone Mine, but you can keep it in play and try to use other lands. And also the Painlands aren't that bad in the matchup, because they don't really pressure you that much.
Yeah.
So you're able to just activate City of Brass and all the Painlands like 10 times or so. Doesn't really matter. So that's also very good if you have the opportunity to just use them over a couple of
maybe one personal information. I hope I don't be impolite to anyone, but Gemstone Mine is one of the most hated card for me in the format. It's like I'm so unsatisfied with playing that. I see it in this deck, but in decks like where you want to use your mana, like the Solution, stuff like this, it just feels so awkward to activate it safely 2 times, and then you are just, okay, I will set me back. But I see.
I would say you can only use it reliably in combo decks, where you're
Yeah.
able to finish the opponent early enough that the drawback of losing the land isn't that relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Or if you want to use some shenanigans with Threshold or so,
Yes.
and I can also see the card. But I wouldn't play it in any control deck, because the drawback is too high if you just use one of your lands over a couple
absolutely.
of lands.
All right, so this was game 1, and how did you sideboard? I have no idea about this, to be honest. Like, I couldn't even guess.
Sideboarding, I would say Swords to Plowshares is never a bad idea, because usually they have access to Meddling Mage, which can be relevant.
Okay. I see. I take the Ghitu Slinger in.
Definitely. And also, whether Wayfarer can also be very problematic.
Yeah.
If you're behind and they can take Wastelands and Wastelands and Wastelands, and then later they can just take treetop villages and so. So that can also be a good target for the Swords to Plowshares and the Ghitu Slinger. The enchantment hates, it depends on the lists, but as I said earlier, Sylvan Library can be a bit problematic.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I don't think I bring both of the enchantment hates, but that looks good. So you have 6 cards. You don't really want additional discard spells, so you can take out
Wall of Roots?
like 1 or 2. No. You don't take out any mana producing lands.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
They are not or mana producing creatures, so they are not that aggressive, but you need the mana creatures.
Okay.
Because they disrupt you with your mana.
Yeah.
So you need every of the mana creature. Unearth isn't that good, because they mostly exile your creatures. As I said earlier, against the Swords to Plowshares deck, you don't need that much of the Unearth, because they don't kill them with bolts or something like that. They are just exiled. And also you can take out a couple of Hermit Druids, because they bring in mana denial and graveyard hate. And then I would say if you bring in those 6 cards, you can take out 2 Cabal Therapy also. So with this configuration, you have all the chances and all the possibilities, and you're not that fragile against any of the graveyard hate.
Yeah, looks solid.
You prepare a bit for a longer game, I would say. So in this case, you try to either stick a Hermit Druid or try to win with the advantage of the survivals.
And how did game 2 evolved? If you remember.
Yes, I remember. It was a bit. It was a very slow game because Marcus had from my opinion, a bit too reactive hand. So I saw that with one Cabal Therapy, and he had multiple Swords to Plowshares and the Pyroblast, and he also had no really creature to attack with, but he had a Sylvan Safekeeper. Not really sure if he also had he probably also had an artifact to prevent. Yeah, probably it was a Tormod Crypt. But I'm not sure that much anymore if it was Tormod Crypt. But as I remember correctly, I needed also the Uktabi Orangutan in the matchup. And yeah, in the end, I was killing with the survival of the fittest. I wasn't killing with survival of the fittest, but he destroyed the survival of the fittest, and he also cast an Armageddon in the matchup. But as I said earlier, I tried to prevent it a bit with multiple creatures.
Yeah, so
could also be that
just
he
worked
had a
out
Cataclysm. Could also be that he had a Cataclysm. Yeah, it was probably it was a Cataclysm and not an Armageddon. So it was he was able to reduce my field a bit, and I had the Unearth in hand, so I was able to put him under a lot of pressure with the Hermit Druid in play. Exactly, and I think it was after I answered his Tormod Script, he cast in Cataclysm to prevent me comboing off.
Yeah.
And then I was able to return the Volra Shapeshifter first. Exactly. And with Volra Shapeshifter in play, then I used the Hermit Druid to put Psychatog on the top of the graveyard. Okay. And then I attacked him with the Volra Shapeshifter, using Psychatog and exiling cards from the graveyard to pump it up. So yeah, that was the kill. And he was very disruptive, and he exiled a lot of Wall of Roots from me. Yeah, I needed, or definitely had also the survival of the fittest and needed to search up some Wall of Roots to force him to use the swords. And then lastly, when he didn't have any swords anymore, I got the Hermit Druid and tried to put him onto pressure. But as he had the Tormod Script earlier, I needed to find an answer for that first.
Okay, I see, yeah. So worked out, like going a bit slower, but in the value-based direction, even surviving stuff like Cataclysm, Tormod Script.
Yeah. And so it was also like 8:30 or so. So it was already very late. And I think, both or all of the remaining players was already very exhausted. But in this game, I also had a situation where I needed to decide how I want to use the Unearth, and I had the Hermit in play, 2 lands, and survival, and I knew that he also has Ray of Revelation. He found some access to the Area of Revelation, so I knew that he will be able to kill it. And then I needed to build a plan and had different lines and went to some of them. And that took like 2 or 3 minutes. But I sat there and he also sat there, and yeah, we were trying to make a plan. But then, yeah, that's also sometimes happens in Magic, and it's also very good that you're not playing on competitive tournaments, because that's not really allowed to sit like 3 minutes and think about everything. But usually in this deck, it can happen that you have some different or difficult lines to go through. But then if you have a choice, then you go through all the lines, usually very fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's not that unusual to have some thinking about everything.
Yeah, perfect. Anything to add on this one, or should we continue with the finals before going into some play?
No, I don't think that's. I don't think that any very relevant thing to add there. So we can go to the final if you want.
All right, Jörg, and all right to every viewer. Like, you took us with a 7 rounds playoffs and then quarterfinals and semifinals to finally be in the finals of the tournament against famous and well-known player Philip. He even streams. We can send the link here with a, I guess, very scary deck. He played Iggy Pop. So please take us with you in your finals.
Yeah, that was very cool that we played against each other in the finals, because I know Philip for a couple of years now. And funnily, we already played against each other in testing sessions.
Ah, sweet.
It was a couple of months ago when I asked Philip, independently of that event, I asked him because I didn't really had the chance to play against the Iggy Pop deck in either in paper or in MTGO events with the deck. And he's probably be one of the 2 best players of the deck.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, Philip, are you interested in having a 1-hour testing session for the matchup? And then we took an arrangement and 1 or 1.5 hours in the evening. So we are played against each other on MTGO via Discord, and then we talked about every important decision. So I think I was also very good prepared for the matchup, because I know what is very important. And he's also good prepared for the matchup. So it was funny that we have been testing this a couple of months ago, and then we are playing against each other in the finals in Darmstadt. But that's also a very good sign, because Philip also said that, and I would totally be agreeing about that, that Premodern is a format where you have benefit if you're playing the same deck for a long time. So you build up experience with the deck, and then you get so much edge above the opponent if you have if you know all the ins and outs and all the relevant key cards from the matchups. So there are a lot of games where you are able to win against the opponent just because you are more experienced about the matchup. So and do less faults with the deck.
Absolutely, and here I want to make a small bracket. I don't want to go too much into detail, but I think exactly what you stated there is a reason for many players to leave Legacy, or maybe shrink down on Legacy to play more Premodern. It was the same reason for me. Like, even if you are not can manage to make a lot of games within 3 months, you can just return. You got your old matchup knowledge, and this is very, very cool to evolve your game over years.
Definitely, it's also very helpful sometimes if you know the different angles of different matchups and different decks. So I'm not really saying that you're not allowed to ever play another deck. So, but if you play especially with those 2 decks, it's very important to build up the experience. So if I just give the deck to a player who has never been playing the deck before, it's not that easy for him to just be that much successful, especially because there are some lines which are not that where you don't see that at the first point, I would say. And there are always tournaments and events and games, even now for me, where I have new situations where I see, oh, cool, I can do that, and then I can do that after that. So you not always need to win via combo, but especially with this deck, you have so many different lines you can take, and then that's very important to be more experienced with the deck.
Absolutely.
And also the same applies to the Iggy Pop deck. Especially, I would say at the beginning you asked me if this is the most complicated deck in the format, and I would say that Iggy Pop is probably more complicated because you have to calculate so many things before you go
I see what you
through
mean.
your combo. So I think here are some different lines, and it's not the end of the world if something goes wrong, but if the Storm player miscounts and he has 1 mana to less, this can mean that the complete turn fizzles and he's not able to execute the plan he was meant to do.
So at this point, I will take the opportunity to give some more information to the newer viewers and to give you props and Philip for your dedication to the deck. Because for our viewers not knowing the format too well, Hermit, Full English Breakfast, and Iggy Pop are both very, very niche decks. I would say they have a combined meta share maybe at 1 or 2%. So it was so cool that you were trying the matchup before, like 1.5 hours testing, and then you both face yourself in the finals for a niche matchup you tested. So very, very great.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I would say, you can just check the data and you will see that neither of those decks are that much or that commonly played, which have different reasons, I would say. Especially with Iggy Pop, I would mention that 4 lines are diamonds, that they are not that cheap. And on the other side, they are not played in that much decks. So if you don't really have a huge legacy collection already, then it's hard to go into the deck. And also intuition is also very, very expensive in the meanwhile and was basically all the time. So I would say there are some niche cards from the format which are played heavily in this Iggy Pop deck. And here in the Hermit FEB, there are also some cards which are not that commonly played, excluded the Survival of the Fittest, which is mainly a format staple. And the complexity and the barrier, if you go new with the deck, is probably one of the reasons, because people want to play Magic and have fun with it and want to have very easy access to some decks. So especially if you see decks like Sly or Goblins or Stiflenot, I wouldn't say that neither of these decks cannot be mastered, and especially if you want to master those decks, it's also very good, and you can get an edge over some problematic matchups, for example, or over players in general. But especially those combo decks are very hard to play.
They have like 0 free wins. Like you don't land a deck like this and say, I'm 4-0. It's just too much can happen.
Sometimes you can have easy. So especially in a Hermit FEB, it's also sometimes you start the game, before the game, you just say, okay, I take a mulligan. You take another mulligan. You take another mulligan. You go into 4 cards, and the opponent says, "Oh, that's unfortunate," and they are not feeling that good about it because they know, okay, the opponent has so much unfortunate with his starting hands.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can just start with Hermit Druid on turn 2 or so. They don't have the answer, and then you immediately win in the next turn. So that can, or even on turn 2, you can just still win with the deck. But on the other hand, people want to have fun. So
yeah, absolutely. So
especially if you want to win like 2 games or 3 games, that's very hard, especially to play against the Graveyard Hate and all the other interaction from the opponents.
yeah, this plus just people are randomly slamming cards like Gear's Blessing as a one-off in the sideboard. So you have to anticipate that this will happen with a deck like Iggy Pop. And
okay, that's also a funny story because Philip basically started with a Thomas script in play.
Game 1?
In game 1, he had a
in
Thomas
game
script.
1?
Yeah.
In the main deck?
I said, wow, in the main deck. Then he said, it's in the main deck, and he also can evidence that. But I didn't really had any doubt about that the card is meant for the main deck. But it makes sense because if you want to win with with Brain Freeze, and then there are sometimes scenarios where you can just use the Thomas script.
I like it.
Prevent the opponent doing any stuff, especially in my matchup. He can't really Brain Freeze me because I have access to Krosan Reclamation.
Yeah.
But if he can use Thomas script, he can just exile the cards before I put them back. Normally, you just mill the opponent, and then you cast target player draws like 2 or 3 cards.
Yeah.
He has
Words of Wisdom
analysis. I think he has Deep Analysis and Cephalid Colosseum.
I see.
To do target player draws 2 or 3 cards. And then you just can't draw cards and lose by that before you go to your draw step or to your upkeep to put cards back.
I'm just searching for a deck. It was a one-off Thomas script in the main deck. And it was even the version with Recoup, which is pretty nice. And one more Thomas script in the sideboard. Okay, but please, let's take some time to guide us through your final match.
Yeah, of course. In the final match, I was on the play because I was a higher seed after Swiss. And as I said earlier, because of the testing we played against each other, I knew that Hermit Druid is the best card in the matchup. So I tried to get a starting hand which has a fast Hermit Druid and a fast kill with others. It didn't really work out with the first hands. So with the first hands, I had nothing, I would say. So not really any disruption or any survival or something like that. It was easy ship aways. And then I kept a survival of the fittest hand. So I didn't really had the Hermit Druid then. I'm not really sure, or it can be that I also had Hermit Druid, but he had the Tormod script, so I wasn't able. Yeah, and that was the main thing. I was so surprised because I thought, okay, I have access to the Hermit Druid, and now he can't really do that much. And then he had the answer with the Tormod script, so I was a bit confused about it for a short time, but then I was able to build another plan with the survival of the fittest, and then I was able to play around Thomas script. And I think I kind of forced him to use the Thomas script. And then we were in a top deck war, I would say. We spent a couple of resources. I tried to use Cabal Therapies from the graveyard. Especially, okay, and now I know. I had Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, and I had Squee discarded with his survival, and he needed to use the Tormod script right away to just prevent me doing so much card advantage with the Squee, because if I have Squee, I can discard it each turn and then build the hand to have Warlord Shapeshifter, Triskelion, and Phyrexian Devourer.
Okay, nice.
And with that, I had the luck that I had the Warlord Shapeshifter in play, and I didn't really had any cards in my hand, but the Survival of the Fittest was in play, and I had 2 lands. And then he played Brain Freeze, because I wanted to discard, as I knew that he had Brain Freeze, I wanted to discard with the Cabal Therapy. And then he played a couple of spells and Brain Freezed me.
Okay.
I think that was also in combination with the Tormod script activation. So he wanted to get my Squee out of the graveyard, and before that he used the Brain Freeze to get some additional cards, but he wasn't lucky enough to find any of my combo pieces.
Oh, okay.
But he milled I think it was 9 cards or so. He milled 9 cards from my graveyard and was exiling them with the Tormod script to just prevent me getting back the Squee.
Yeah,
and then
nice.
in the next turn, I directly top decked the Phyrexian Devourer. And as I had the Warlord Shapeshifter already in play, I was able to discard the Devourer, getting Triskelion, and kill him right away. So that was very lucky and funny situation. I had a lot of situations where I top decked the right cards in this weekend. So that was not that easy to win, but sometimes you get those free wins as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes the other player has it. Like today I was in the finals of a league like 4-0, and I almost passed out because my opponent had 17 best top decks. I was like, it's impossible. But on other days, I am in the position. What I question here, or what I ask myself is, this will be very tough to sideboard, or? It's like I see stuff like...
It's very easy. You don't have that much cards for the matchup. And you don't have that much bad cards for the matchup.
Okay. Like, you probably want some Duress as interaction and Uktabi Orangutan if they play LED too early, or is it the wrong track?
Yeah, that can be a possibility. But as I knew that he's playing with Tormod scripts and saw them already, but I knew earlier that Philip is also using Tormod scripts sometimes in the sideboard, which also makes sense with the Brain Freeze plan, especially against the GS Blessings. So I knew that it is possible that I need to answer Tormod script first, and especially with the Lion's Eye Diamonds. When he has like 2 Lion's Eye Diamonds in hand, he need to play at least one of them. Because if I have Cabal Therapy, then he loses too much cards. Iggy Pop is a deck where you need critical mass, so it's a bit like Ad Nauseam Tendrils in Legacy or the Epic Storm. So you need a critical mass of cards to do mana and do some advantage things with it. So every card in the hand matters, and every mana he gets matters as well. So usually he tries to keep them to create storm, but sometimes they play it out, and then it's good to catch it up.
And what can you cut
just
from
take
the main deck?
Just take out 3 Wall of Roots.
Okay.
It's not that relevant.
Right. It's a classical plan.
You want to kill them with Hermit Druid anyway and be very fast. So you don't have the time or the need to cast the Wall of Roots first. But sometimes there are scenarios where the mana can matter, so keeping one in deck can make sense.
And how did the game 2 and game 3 played out? Was it just very classical with the storm kill?
Yeah, it was very
enough,
grindy. So that was very grindy.
Okay.
So we played about over an hour, I would say. So the match took at least 1 hour. And yeah, the thing is also, especially with the storm decks, you need to calculate a lot. You need to go through every step and every line. So we had situations where we sat on the at the table, and then Philip went to some lines he could make, and then needs to think some seconds or even minutes. So you sit there and can't do that much. And even if they play Ingotten Gains, you can't do that much as well. You have those priority cards you won't get back from your graveyard, but the opponent has so much more options, and you sit there with some cards, but you can't do anything. So it's a bit like solitaire, I would say.
Yeah.
Play in this matchup as the opponent. Yeah, and that was one reason. But I wouldn't say that he played slow or something like that. But all these steps and all these situations took some seconds or minutes. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think in the second game, he just milled me out on the third turn or so. Third or fourth turn. Brain freeze. Okay, I noticed here on my sheet brain freeze for 51 cards.
And the Krosan Reclamation couldn't save you after that?
No, I think he had a Thomas script and was able to exile my cards, so it wasn't really helping the situation. Yeah.
And game 3 were a quick one or grindy?
No. Game 3 wasn't quick. Game 3 took a couple of minutes. I would say like 20 or 25 minutes at least. There I had a mulligan to 5 cards because also the starting hands weren't good. And then I kept the hand with, I think it was double discard spell, 2 lands, and Hermit Druid. So I had very good disruption with Durus and Cabal Therapy, and had the way to kill him with the Hermit Druid. But yeah, I started with first turn Durus, discarded the Lion's Eye Diamond, and saw that he didn't have any interaction. But then he top decked Swords to Plowshares and exiled my Hermit, which I have been casting on turn 2.
Yeah.
And then he said, he can also top deck good. Was a hind for the first game where I top decked the Phyrexian Devourer. So yeah, then the game took much longer, and then I had the luck to find Survival of the Fittest. And with the Survival of the Fittest, I got another Hermit Druid. And then we had a situation where I have Hermit Druid and 3 lands. In my upkeep, I wasn't able to use the Hermit because I had two less mana. So I wasn't able to use the Krosan Reclamation line. Also, so I needed to pass to him. And also, I had the good chance to shred the whole hand from him with multiple Cabal Therapies. So as I mentioned earlier, critical mass deck. So sometimes it can even help if you just discard a Dark Ritual or a Lotus Petal.
Yeah.
To just reduce the storm count and the initial mana before he goes into the combo. But then exactly in the turn where I had the Hermit Druid, he found Ill-Gotten Gains. Then I think he went to through some lines and he tried to get some lines winning and milling me, but as I remember correctly, he was short for 1 storm count or so. So he wasn't able to mill my whole deck.
Okay.
And then it was very epic. So he decided to first, I think he decided to mill himself with Brain Freeze, and with the Brain Freeze, he found access to the Tormod script. And with the Tormod script, he found at least a way to prevent me from winning. But he was middle in the combo, so then he decided to do some stuff and cast Brain Freeze, but he wasn't able to mill me completely. So I think I had like 5 cards in my deck, and he had 3 cards left in his deck. So, and then we had the epic situation that we drew our libraries completely out. And then he needed to go to his turn, and I wasn't able to draw another card. So I think it was all planned from Philip when he noticed that he can't mill me out. He probably made his plan that he will mill me as much as he can, and then we had the cool board state where we have 0 cards in our library left. But at least I had Uktabi Orangutan and Hermit Druid in play, so I was able to attack him. And but he wasn't able to draw a card, so he was losing because he probably milled a bit too much with the Brain Freeze. And after the game, he later told me that he misplayed some of the line, and he would have been able to create more storm count if he had other choices. But it was already like 9:30 or 9:45.
Yeah, it's
so with 7 rounds with and 3 hours more magic, then it's very. I think it's normal that you can't really find the perfect spot anymore. So.
Super interesting. Like, wow, so let's
I would recommend everybody to watch the finals. If this video will be published by Chris Budesheim later, I will suggest it. It's a very epic match.
Yeah, we will link it if we can find it. Again, Jörg, thank you very much for the in-depth knowledge here, and congratulations. So really, really amazing run in general. And any final words from you before we start going into some matches together?
I also want to give a shout out to the Discord group from the Hermit gang. So the Discord group, they are doing that much innovation for the deck and always find solutions for every problem with the deck. Especially one of the inventions was the Battlefield Scrounger. And that had to do with some bots where one player asked, if we have access to Xantid Swarm, that would be cool that we have a win without attacking, because if you have Xantid Swarm and then you attack, then the opponent can't cast any spells anymore. And but the problem is just the Hermit and the Akroma line doesn't work then anymore, because you want to attack with the Aura Shapeshifter then. And so they found access to the card and some additional situations where the card is helpful. So that was very cool that they are thinking about the deck all the time and try to improve it.
Yeah, sounds great to have a community there.
And also, I guess I need to give a shout out to, I probably remember the name correctly, but Carsten Kötter is probably the name of the player which invented the deck, or even at least in this configuration, the full English Breakfast deck with the Hermit Druid, especially with those tricky lines with the Karmic Guide and the Psychatog. So Carsten Kötter, as far as I know, was one of the players which invented this kind of the deck.
Yeah, really, really cool. Can't wait to play it together with you. Perfect.
Yeah, okay, then I would say let's start.
Let's dive in. All right, everyone, and welcome to our first match together with the Grandmaster Jörg here. And Jörg, as you learned me, if we don't have survival and if we don't have the hermit, it's a mulligan. What's your opinion?
Definitely, yeah. You don't really want those hands because you can rely on what you find on the top of your deck. So then with those hands, you can't do anything. But that's a very good hand.
And we ship probably Akroma?
Definitely, yeah. Because you want the mana, you don't really need the Akroma in your hand in this with this hand anyway. Yeah. But you want to be a bit resilient if the opponent has like Wasteland or so.
Okay.
And it's good to have an additional land.
So let's ship it and let's see what our opponent is on. I was not Googling before. Let's surprise here. And please, everyone, keep in mind we might see one or two more odd lines because we want to try for some Battlefield Scrounger lines. Okay, Birds of Paradise for sure. Probably starting with Llanowar Wastes.
I would say that Yavimaya Coast with this hand is the worst land. So if they have access to Wasteland or so, then we can start with the Yavimaya Coast and cast the birds.
Yeah. So let's do it.
You need to be sure that you have access to the black mana if you go to the combo in this turn. So then you usually play the black mana as the last land. Mm-hmm. So imagine that you play the Llanowar Wastes and the Gemstone Mine first. Then you need to play, sometimes, especially with the Krosan Reclamation lines, you need to play the land and cast the reanimation spell. But if you use your land too early, okay, they play a daze. It's very good for us, I would say.
Yeah. So it's probably Grow-a-Toke or Blue-White Red Note at this point. And for our watchers, Jörg can't see it due to the stream constellation here, but I added a very huge Triskelion on the bottom right. It was a huge prize Jörg won, probably self-made by a 3D printer, and it's so funny that you won so many games with the trike and then won a big figurine of it. So Jörg, play a land and play Unearth into the bird or run
No, yeah? We just play the Hermit Druid right out. And if the opponent counters it, that's not a problem. We can just reanimate it with the Unearth.
So let's see. A sword
but the problem is... Yeah, a sword is... but a counter spell would even be not that good for us. So they probably either cast a sword now or... it looks like a sword.
Yeah. This is not great.
Yeah, Hermit Druid is not that good against the... unfortunate we find a discard spell right now. But Hermit Druid isn't that good against the counter-heavy decks because especially the Krosan Reclamation line is very risky.
Yeah.
So I think
for sure, right?
Yeah, we have the way. So either our plan is... do you think there is a problematic permanent or card the opponent can cast next turn, which we want to prevent?
Meddling Mage.
Yeah, Meddling Mage can be problematic, but I don't think that's the end of the world.
Okay.
I think we have the... I think in this case we just...
cycle?
We will just cycle, but not really sure if we do it right now. But latest in the next turn, we will cycle the Unearth, hope to find a survival, I would say, or another Hermit. I don't want to use the Cabal Therapy too early, because it's very important if we find another Hermit or a survival, we want to protect it.
Perfect.
So I think we just pass here, and in the end step, we will cycle the Unearth. Yeah, that's our scenarios where you not want to be with a deck.
Yeah.
So you don't have any action, and the opponent can do his control game. I think here in the end step, we just use it without losing the counter on the Gemstone Mine.
This was the idea. I thought that I would cycle in our turn, but it's probably not this important. This could even be a pitch for survival. I hope to draw
Finding
here.
a survival or the Hermit is the main priority for us in the situation. Yeah. So that's very good to see 2 new cards or 1 additional card. And now we of course, we can just, I think we can just cast the Cabal Therapy first. Naming Counterspell.
Okay.
Yes.
If we saw Swords to Plowshares, we go for Birds of Paradise first and flashback Cabal Therapy.
I would say so, yes.
Okay, there's a counterspell. Sweet.
Very good. Okay.
So it's a cool brew of Grow, but he's lacking mana, so we can just play just the Hermit, or would you slam both creatures here? Probably both to advance the mana.
Yeah, the thing is, the problem is now we have the Krosan Reclamation in our hand. So that's
we got 1 shot.
Okay, right? but we can get Animate Dead with it, but the problem is here Disenchant, but it's not really problematic because before we cast Animate Dead, we will just use Cabal Therapy, sacrificing the bird. So I would say, we cast both creatures now, and then we see what he does in his turn.
I will play a bit faster here because I'm still slow with stacking the pile correctly. So we might run into time problems, but let's do our best.
Could be. We just have fun here, I would say.
Maybe should put a stop in my upkeep, right? So we are in upkeep. We got 5 mana.
Yeah, that's also very good because you have Krosan Reclamation, and even if he's countering, you can just cast it another time. So here you just just be sure that you use Gemstone Mine first in those situations, because sometimes you can just accidentally put it on the top of the graveyard. So I would just use
but just one, right?
Yeah.
The problem is
the order of the order of the graveyard is irrelevant because we want to win via Animate Dead anyway.
Okay,
so you can just click at random.
Perfect. Activate here, activate there, right?
Exactly, yes.
So I'm thrilled. Any order, yes?
Any order, yes. Yeah.
So, and then I take another Gemstone Mine mana together with the bird.
And exactly, and target yourself using Animate Dead.
Okay, just Animate Dead, right?
Just Animate Dead. You want to draw the card?
I don't see how I get the kill here, to be honest, but I'm pretty excited. So if this resolves, if he has a counter here, we need to do it again, probably putting back 2 cards. Yeah, would still be decent, I guess.
Yeah, if he has a counter, we cast it again. So now we go to our draw step. And then we sacrifice the Hermit Druid with the Cabal Therapy, target him.
We got more therapies, it's so broken.
Yeah, 4 right now, so we can use 2 of them.
What to name?
Just
Counterspell?
Disenchant.
Okay. Okay, he got nothing. He just wants to see us.
Yeah, to Disenchant, which was nothing, but now we can just let's be sure that we. I think we wanted to go with the. I think let me check if we can use the Battlefield Scrounger now. But we can. You can just target the Karmic Guide with the Animate Dead. And
Karmic
just
Guide.
Need to be sure. Yes.
Okay,
and he has protection from black.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now you need to be sure that you just let the sacrifice trigger resolve first, and then return trigger for the Volvat Shapeshifter.
Oh god. What do I have to click?
So if you click first, it gets triggered last. So
I need to click here first, right?
Exactly, yes. And target the Warrior Shapeshifter. Then the sacrifice trigger resolves. Now you can get now you can get
Karmic Guide back.
Karmic Guide back, exactly.
And now? Now probably Psychatog?
Yeah, okay. There's one thing we could have been killing with the Battlefield Scrounger now, but as we clicked on random order, it wasn't really good. So now we go the normal line. We get Psychatog now.
We get Psychatog, which is lying
a bit above.
Here?
A bit above. Yes.
Okay, now we can.
Then we sacrifice it with the Cabal Therapy. Targeting the opponent.
I see. Yeah, this was exactly the part I was missing on my solo. So sacrifice Psychatog without exiling something before.
Yes. Then Psychatog gets on the top of the graveyard.
Sword Explosions.
Phyrexian Druid.
Okay. So now we make this huge.
Now it is a Psychatog. Yes, and we need to keep Akroma on the top, so you need to exile all the cards from the graveyard from the top until you have the Akroma. So yeah, that wasn't really good for us that it was in this order, but we need to do it. But
I just have to keep Psychatog on top, and I can exile everything between, right?
Exactly. You can exile everything between Psychatog and the Akroma.
1, 2. Yeah, this will take some time, but even if we lose against the clock here, it's not a problem. We want to showcase this. Maybe keeping priority there is not the important thing.
No. It can also auto-yield to this +1/+1.
Yeah. But I don't think it will...
Yeah. In the meanwhile, if it's okay, I would just explain the other line we could have been taking. So especially if you want to go with the Battlefield Scrounger line, you do basically the same, but you have the top cards of your graveyard in a different order. So that's important that you have the Battlefield Scrounger below the Unearth, and under that you have Phyrexian Devourer and Triskelion, and then you use the Psychatog without without sacrificing itself. You use the Psychatog to remove the Unearth from the graveyard, so the Warrior Shapeshifter gets Battlefield Scrounger. And then you can use the ability of the Battlefield Scrounger, put the Battlefield Scrounger, Palinchron, and Akroma in your library. That is totally 20 CMC. And after you have been removing the battlefield, so now you just exile the Psychatog and attack with the Akroma.
Perfect.
So that was a bit too much of the damage, and also by exiling the cards, but that was because it was probably still faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clicking on each card. So
what are we doing here with sideboarding? Ghitu Slinger? I don't know. It's like this is probably a matchup where we don't need Wall of
Meddling Mage. At least not 4 of them, but we can expect Meddling Mage, I would say.
So Meddling Mage means Ghitu Slinger and maybe swords?
Yeah, I would say we bring 2 swords. Yeah, they have Phyrexian Druid and Meddling Mage. So, and also they have counterspells, so I would like to have 2 Durus.
It's not enough for Xantid Swarm, right?
Let me check Xantid Swarm. You can bring in 1 Xantid Swarm, but I wouldn't bring in 2, I would say.
Okay.
And you can also take out another Wall of Roots. And also one Elvish Spirit Guide.
Yeah.
And I would also bring in Uktabi Orangutan because they will have Phyrexian Furnace and Mox Diamond.
Yeah. I need 3 more cuts. Unearth?
They have access to Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, then you can take out in Unearth and 1 or 2 Hermit Druids.
All right. Registered like this?
Just let me just check my sideboard guide again. Yeah, I would say so. That's a good point. It's a good sideboarding. So we get a bit slower, but we are very resilient and also consistent with the list now.
So I hope our viewers are not too sad if we concede quick, if we are far behind, because we just got 13 minutes left on the clock, and it's sometimes hard to finish in time. Absolutely, yes. Mulligan. Another mulligan, right?
Yeah, I would say so. That's also a mulligan. No really action in our hand. And also Gemstone Mine is very fragile. So now we're in the ballpark where we can think about keeping.
Yeah.
Usually this is a hand where I also mentioned earlier, sometimes I even mulligan to 4 because this hand doesn't really have action. But I think we can just make Gemstone Mine. Yeah, we can just keep, and we can just make Gemstone Mine and 1 Llanowar Wastes, I would say.
Perfect.
They don't really have that much land destruction, I guess. So we don't really need that much lands, but
so
we want
start
creatures.
With a coast and to bird and ship the turn.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a hand where we don't really play that much because we need to find action. Oh, they have a 1-lander. Interesting. Okay, that can mean that they have Annul, especially
because Squee?
No. It's too early to slam Squee. They can just exile it or so. I think we just play
later?
Exactly. We play bird, and in the end step we can cycle the unearth. Can be that he has fire and ice, but we can live with that. Absolutely. We just cycle the unearth and hope to find a relevant spell in the next turn.
I got a feeling that he just skipped. Like
possible.
Otherwise, it would have been
Pyroclasm or fire and ice is very
possible.
He had
2 lands.
Now. Oh, right.
Like he had 2 lands. He just skipped a turn, so yeah, it happens.
He wanted to.
This is fine.
Exactly, fire and ice.
Exactly what you anticipated.
We can think about now if we want to unearth or if we want to cycle.
Yeah,
I think we want to cycle.
Yeah.
I think we want to cycle because we have the 3rd land anyway, and okay.
So now we are probably going for the ruins, or do we want to expand our mana first? Yeah, probably
just see a point. Gemstone. I don't. Yeah, okay. You can do. We don't play anything anyway, so you can just cast the Gemstone Mine now to give a window. If we cast something in the next turns or so, then in the second next turn we use the Treva's Ruins to get the Gemstone Mine back. But it's a very bad situation now. We should probably mulligan to 4 with this hand because we didn't have any action.
Let's see. Okay, Engineered Plague is not too scary.
Yeah, it's not the end
he's going on Phyrexian, which is probably right, but here's a survival.
There's survival.
Do I slam it?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we need to. So we can't really play around Annul in this situation, I guess. So if he untaps, he can also. Ah, cool.
Going for bird?
Yeah, we can think about going for Xantid Swarm right now.
Oh,
that could
sweet.
be a possibly consideration. But the thing is, can you just wait? The thing is, if he just he's able to answer the survival in the next turn,
Yeah.
then we only have Xantid Swarm and would have nothing won. So I would say one way is that we can go for the Hermit Druid.
Okay.
But the thing is, if we want to, just ship the turn first, and we can try to set something up to beat the Engineered Plague. I don't think that we need to get the Xantid Swarm first. We can do it in the next turn. We'll do it in the next turn. Quirion Druid, okay, now they have a clock.
Yeah, we could even consider going for the Shocking Dude. I don't know. So pitch Squee to get what first?
We can even think about getting Uktabi Orangutan to just set them back with the mana.
Yeah.
Because they only have blue mana right now. That could be a consideration.
But do we want to bin something in between, like to use the mana here? Or it's not necessary?
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't really help us in this situation.
Okay.
It's too early. I would say let's just get a Uktabi Orangutan to destroy the Mox Diamond.
So here, we are at 10 minutes.
So if we want to win, oh, that's very good. If we want to win through the Engineered Plague, then we need probably Psychatog.
So first the Orangutan, right?
I would say so, yes.
And do I want to tutor something with Squee to play immediately?
Yes, exactly. In this situation, I would say we get Xantid Swarm, and then we set up a kill in the next turn.
This is sweet to have the Xantid Swarm as a one-off, like to tutor it.
Just be sure, as I mentioned earlier, it's better to click on the card first to use casting the card.
Yeah, you're right.
Using the city, because if you misclick and put like black mana or so, okay, then you have the others. But here, okay, they. Oh wow!
Wow.
Okay, that's okay. They want to attack probably with the Quirion Druid. In worst case, they have Cursed Totem.
Oh.
Or Thomas Crypt, but they only had one card in hand, so I don't think that they have so much options right now.
Yeah, Gush would be strong.
Yeah. But if we, I think, if we untap right now, we can get Palinchron and then Psychatog, using Psychatog to pump the Volat Shapeshifter.
So we won, right?
Okay, let's go through right now. So I think the first step is we discard the Squee.
Or we attack.
Yeah, we attack, right.
Okay, no, I think we can take time to make the best line.
Maybe this is also a possible way to use the Battlefield Scrounger, but I don't think that I get through the possibility now. But I think now we can. One of the first things is we can use discarding Squee to get Volat Shapeshifter.
Can I place Gemstone Mine first?
Oh no, wait. Yeah, Gemstone Mine first. Then discard Squee.
Discard Squee with like Llanowar Wastes mana?
Yeah, one less mana is good.
Discard Squee for Psychatog. But I don't think we can play everything, right?
It would be better. It would be better as Psychatog is the top of the card, the top of the graveyard when we have Warlord Shapeshifter in play.
Okay, can I win from here with 4 mana left? Or do we just go for Ghitu Slinger now?
4 mana left.
You said something about Palinchron, but you need to guide me, please. We got 7 minutes left.
Yeah, Palinchron. Okay, just ignore the time. I think we can win if we want, but we have to do it correctly. So the thing is, if you just use the Warlord Shapeshifter and discard anything, it will be destroyed immediately.
Yeah.
And we don't have enchantment hate. So we need to use either Battlefield Scrounger, but the problem is we don't have so much cards in the graveyard, so it doesn't have threshold.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to use Psychatog for Warlord Shapeshifter first to pump it so that it survives. And one other thing is that if we use Unearth, then the top card of the graveyard gets Unearth. So we have to be aware that we don't lose our Warlord Shapeshifter then.
Crazy. But you are confident that we can win this turn?
Let me just think about how we do it now.
Yeah, we need Palinchron.
The thing is, we probably need Palinchron because we don't have so much mana.
I guess this is a line, Jörg. Get Palinchron, get Shapeshifter. Unearth the Shapeshifter. And then we can continue again. Like, this is Phyrexian.
Exactly, because Unearth will be the top card of the graveyard after it resolves. And then it's in Phyrexian, and it gets immediately.
Are you still here?
Warlord Shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Okay, that would work, right? If we get Palinchron now, then we discard Palinchron and get Warlord Shapeshifter. Then we hardcast Warlord Shapeshifter.
But we don't have 3 mana to hardcast. We don't have enough mana to tutor again. If we go for Palinchron now, we need... we have. Okay. Palinchron. Then activate this.
Then...
Yeah.
And then we have Hermit and discard Hermit, getting Psychatog, using Psychatog, pumping, getting Phyrexian Devourer.
So
it should work because it is a
blue. What do we want to untap?
Everything, because we can untap 7 lands.
Yeah. You are right. I thought it was 4.
No, 7.
Yeah,
rarely the opponent can't cast anything. No.
5 minutes left. Jörg, I'm shaking.
Yeah, the thing is, we need to play around, but we have the opportunity to just discard the Hermit, getting Psychatog, discarding Psychatog, then exiling cards in the graveyard first, and then after that we discard the Phyrexian Devourer we got after this Psychatog.
So let's go for...
now you can use Gemstone Mine, discarding Hermit.
Green, discarding Hermit.
Getting Psychatog.
To go Psychatog. Discard Psychatog with this green mana here.
Yeah, really doesn't matter that much, but...
So now, first thing we do... Wow! This is so impressive.
Yeah, we get Phyrexian Devourer now, but before we discard the Devourer, we use Psychatog, exiling 2 birds. Then it gets +1/+1 and survives the Engineered Plague.
Wow.
Yeah, that is very tricky because you need to be aware that if you use
Devourer first, right?
Devourer, yeah. We get Devourer.
Okay. So activate
Now
here,
we use
exile 2 cards
Psychatog.
to pump it once, and once is enough, right?
Once
now
is enough because it's
we need to make this discard, right?
Yes, now we discard the Phyrexian Devourer.
Into Trike, I see. So I don't have to hold priority, right?
No. You let the triggers resolve. You use the ability and let the triggers resolve.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. The trigger is put on stack, I guess. Okay, now we got the trigger. Now we need to go for 18 counters. Or do we need to secure something? Like, would you go absolutely sure? Or
he can't cast anything. Maybe
he could cycle.
I think there's a cycle spell which gains life, right?
2 life, yeah.
Okay, that would
but
be
this
possible.
is enough, right?
That's enough, yes.
And now I discard
Triskelion. And then after that you can just make 18 damage.
Okay, now I have to just go here. 1. I can do same targets, I guess. Save targets. Right click, save targets. And I can yield here, right?
It's very tricky.
Always yield is fine?
Yield. Always yield, yes. And then you can also save targets. And then you need to only click on the opponent.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You don't only need to click on the ability and it saves that the opponent was targeted.
Man. Yeah.
Okay, now I realize nice. Okay, yeah. So,
what you want to add? It's a bit unfortunate to.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate because we wanted to use the Battlefield Scroungers.
Yeah.
But I think in these situations, it's totally fine if you just kill it with the options you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's totally okay, but maybe there's another chance for the Battlefield Scrounger later.
But great game. So let's wrap it for now.